Hey Flosstube, it's Debbie from Thread Wishes on Etsy. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful support since my last video. I have to admit I wasn't really sure about doing videos. I thought it would be weird to sit in front of a camera and talk about cross stitching, but it was actually really fun making it. And I have been so surprised and happy about all of the support I've gotten, whether you've just watched the video or subscribed. Thank you for all those who went to my Etsy shop and favorited items as well as made purchases. It really just meant a lot to me to know that there are people out there who liked my patterns and were excited to start stitching them and who were willing to buy those patterns. It just means a lot to me. I was kind of on the verge of maybe stopping designing because I hadn't been very successful with my first 3 patterns, but with my Cinderella pattern and making my last video, I was really able to start seeing some success, which is really great. So thank you again for everyone for supporting that. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've done a video. It was about 3 weeks ago I did my first one. I had kind of a crazy month. My husband's birthday was this month, and I threw him a surprise party, which was a lot of fun, but a lot of work. Chloe's gonna keep me company over here on the couch. It just was a crazy month, as months sometimes are. So again, thank you everybody for your support. It really just meant a lot to me. I am working on a new pattern right now. It's in the very early stages of designing, so it'll probably still be a little while before I have that stitched up and released, but keep an eye out. I'm sure I'll be talking about it in future videos as we get a little closer to me stitching it. I'm sure I'll be showing updates as well, so that's exciting. So first things first, I want to show you some updates on my works in progress that I've made. If you remember from my last video, I don't do a lot of WIPs at the same time. I get a little overwhelmed when there's a lot of projects I'm trying to work on, and I tend to just never go back and finish the old ones. So I've learned for myself to try and keep it to like at the max like 5. So the ones I think I showed you in the last video, I was working on a couple of frosted pumpkin patterns and as well as a Queen Elizabeth pattern that I haven't worked on at all. So I'll show you my updates on my frosted pumpkins, and I have a new start, which is exciting. So let me start off with the pumpkin passport. I have it off my Q-Snap right now so I can work on some other stuff. I only have 3 Q-Snaps. Maybe that's a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's not a lot. But it helps also keep my WIPs down if I don't have a lot of room to work on them. So I've been really good about keeping up with the pumpkin passport every month. I love working on this. This has been such a fun pattern to do. I did their Once Upon a Time sampler a couple years ago in 2014, and this is the first time I've really kept up every month with their stitch along. So I just finished Japan. Hopefully you can see that. Japan was probably my favorite month to do so far. It's so cute. I just love it. So Japan was really fun to stitch up, but I've really enjoyed this one, and I can't believe we only have 3 months left in this year. It has gone by so fast. I'm excited to see what they pick next for their yearly sample next year. I'll probably stitch it, whatever it is. My next one that I've been working on, I also started their National Park Service National Parks pattern. I don't remember what it's called officially. That's okay. So this one's been really fun, and since I actually have been actively working on this, you can kind of see when I am stitching something, I like to stitch one color at a time. So I'll do everything in one color first and then move on to the next one. So this is like 2 parks. They have Yellowstone and then the Hawaii volcanoes, which it doesn't look like anything yet on this side. So I did all the yellow first, and now I'm going through and working on brown and etc. etc. I know not everyone stitches that way, but that's how I like to do it. So that's my National Park Service. And you can see, I realized I never showed you guys the backs of any of my projects. I'm a very neat back stitcher. That's not right. I like the backs of my projects to be neat. I used to not be this way, but I've gotten kind of crazy about it. Let me show you the back of the pumpkin passport. I am very proud of the backs of my projects. They are generally very neat and tidy. So yeah, I get a little crazy about that. My last work in progress is a new one. I just started it about 2 weeks ago. It's called Silent Night by All Through the Night. And I'm stitching it on a picture this plus fabric, 32 count. I think it's tarnish. But I love this pattern. This is the second time I've tried to make this video with my priority stash, and I tried making it like right before I started stitching this, and I never uploaded the video, and anyway, I decided to just start over. But because I did a video about my priority stash, this was like at the top of my list, so I decided to just start it. So I really love this pattern. Again, it's called Silent Night by All Through the Night. And it's stitching so quickly since it's mostly all one color. I'm using some Oatmeal by the Gentle Arts. Is that right? Yeah, Oatmeal. And it's just really coming along nicely. I really like the way the, oh boy, guys, I'm losing my train of thought today. Actually, it hasn't been a long day, but I didn't sleep great last night. So if I seem a little manic, that's probably why. But I like the variegation in this because it's very subtle, and I think it'll make such a nice Christmas project. So here's the back of that one. See how neat of a stitcher I am? I'm crazy. So that's it right now for my works in progress. Again, I haven't worked on my Queen Elizabeth pattern at all. I've really got to start working on that again. Maybe when I'm all caught up with my frosted pumpkin stuff. But probably by the time I catch up with national parks, I also want to do their Halloween one before Halloween is here. It'll probably be the first, and time to work on the pumpkin passport again. So who knows when I'll get to the Queen Elizabeth pattern again, but hopefully soon, because it's such a pretty pattern. So let me put these back. I also wanted to show, I don't think I showed this in my last video, this is the Chicken Boots pumpkin pouch. I freaking love this thing. I don't currently have a project in it, but you can see how nicely it is for if you're going somewhere you can fit an 11 by 11 Q-snap, no problem. I like that the pockets are clear. It's great if you don't have a lot of colors because you can easily fit all your floss into the pockets. There's more pockets up here. It fits your scissors. You can put a pattern in the back, which is great, and it fits over your shoulder. I just really love this thing. They're a little pricey, but I bought mine before she raised her prices just a little bit, but honestly, I still think it's worth it. I've thought about getting another one just because it's such a great project bag. So I do recommend that if you're thinking about getting it by Chicken Boots is the name of the company. They also do knitting bags that are very cute, but I don't knit. So Chloe says hello. Hi, Chloe. Poor puppy. I was gone this weekend, and my husband and I were gone, and she had to spend 2 days by herself. It was very sad. So the other thing I wanted to talk about since I am a librarian, I used to be a bookseller before this, so of course I love to read, as I want to do some book reviews. Since I listen to a lot of audiobooks while I stitch. I know there's other stitchers who like to do audiobooks. Obviously a lot of us like to watch TV too. Don't worry, I still watch TV. I'm not that crazy about audiobooks, but I do like them a lot because you can concentrate so easily while you stitch. So last video I was listening to The Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. This is the sequel to the book called The Red Queen. And I liked The Red Queen a lot. I thought it was fun. It's a YA kind of dystopian, sort of fantasy-esque sort of dealio, kind of the X-Men sort of thing where humans have developed superpowers. Anyway, the sequel was fun, but it leaves you on a definite cliffhanger. There's going to be 2 more books in the series, and the next one probably doesn't come out to next year, so that is unfortunate. But if you like YA books, I think it's worth a read. They're maybe not the best, like, the most well-written books, but they're still a lot of fun. So it's perfect for stitching because it's very, like, popcorny. The The next thing that I listened to since my last video, this is a middle grade novel. It's called Summer Lost by Ali Condi. And Ali Condi wrote the Matched series. If you, again, read YA, those were really popular a couple years ago. Summer Lost is a middle grade. It's set in Utah. I'm actually from Utah, so it kind of made me a little homesick during what would be the Utah Shakespeare Festival. They call it something different in this novel. And it's just a really sweet middle grade about a girl who has recently lost her father and her brother, and she's trying to deal with those emotions of grief and moving on, and she makes a new friend over the summer while her family is living in this new home in this new town in Utah. And it's just really sweet. And it's fun, if you know Utah at all, just because it has kind of that vibe and that feel, especially with the Shakespeare Festival. And it was just a good little book. And it was short, so you can listen to it really quickly. And, whoa, almost dropped my phone. I'm currently listening to A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. And this is a sequel to the book An Ember in the Ashes. And these books are amazing, guys. And the narrators are so great because they're British, and I love British accents. So that's the best for audiobooks because they're just so nice to listen to. So An Ember in the Ashes, again, sort of has a little bit of a dystopian, but not really. It's more of a kind of a fantasy setting. It's not like lots of crazy magic everywhere, but it sort of has that like fantasy-esque vibe. Lots of sword fighting and kind of, but there's lots of really good themes in it. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. But the sequel is living up definitely to the first book. So if you haven't read the first book, you should. And if you have, you should read or listen to the sequel. So that's what I'm currently listening to right now. I'll probably finish An Ember in the Ashes in the next couple of days. Or A Torch Against the Night in the next couple of days. So don't worry, I'm going to have lots of other books. I have a stack of like 4 or 5 audiobooks right out of camera sight that I have got to listen to soon. So yeah, so those are my book reviews for those of you who are like to cross-stitch and listen at the same time. So finally, what I wanted to do in today's video was talk about what I like to call my priority stash. So these are projects that I have purchased or have usually either kits or things that I have started to kit up. I don't usually keep threads with my kits, with just a few exceptions, at least for things that I kit up myself, just because I like having all of my DMC floss in one place where I can go through and pick out the right numbers, and I don't have to go, oh, I think I have some more of, a certain number in that project, and then I go digging through, and then when I start that project, it's missing the floss. Anyway, it's just easier to have it all, for me, especially because I don't do a lot of the full coverage projects. It's just easier for me to have all of my floss in boxes instead of kitted up with projects. Anyway, so I have a bunch of these priority stash. I'm going to go through some of them real quickly here. So I have a couple of Country Cottage needleworks that I'm hoping to do soon. Oh, and the reason I call it priority stash, I'm all over the place, guys. Thanks for sticking through this video if you're still watching at this point. It's just they're items that I'm hoping to stitch soon. And I always say, oh, I'll get to it next year. But you know how that goes. Life is full of surprises, and of course, whatever new pattern you just bought is always way more exciting than whatever has been sitting in your stash for 2 years that you're keep meaning to stitch and don't actually get around to. So a couple of Country Cottage needleworks projects I'd like to do. First one is called The Bakery, and someone actually gifted this to me as a full kit. So I have some lovely Legacy fabric that I have for it, Crystal Legacy. Legacy is by far my favorite picture of this plus fabric. I bought a very large quantity of it at their last sale, and I think I might have bought some more this year in the sale. I haven't gotten my picture of this plus order yet. I'm hoping it'll arrive in the next couple weeks. But their Christmas in July sale is so popular that you have to wait a couple months sometimes for the order. So I have some Crystal Legacy in here for this, and then just some of the hand-dyed floss, again, that someone purchased for me with this pattern. So this is just a cute little one. Since I have all the stuff for it, I might bring this with me on a trip. I like doing smaller projects when I travel. So that may be what I do with this one. And then you'll notice here, I like stitching projects with food on them. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just hungry a lot. But I do like desserts especially. I like to make them. So I had originally bought this Country Cottage Needleworks pie menu because I love to bake pies. Anyone who knows me knows that I am crazy about baking pies. And then I thought it would be really cute as I bought their ice cream and their cakes one. The cakes one is new. It'd be really fun to stitch all three of them together. So I'm currently trying to think of, actually I have a picture on my computer somewhere of what I kind of want this to look like, but I'll probably stitch it on some sort of neutral colored linen and stitch all three together and frame them together in a rectangle. So I think that'll be pretty. And then another small project I'd like to work on is Words of Wisdom by Good in the World by Pine Mountain Designs, Sandra Workman. Anyway, that's a lot of names. I don't know which is the official name of this company or designer. I think it's Pine Mountain Designs, Simply Delightful Quilts and Cross Stitch by Sandra Workman. Anyway. But I just think this is nice, and I also have a thing for beehives. I don't know why. So I'm hoping to do that one soon just because it's pretty, and maybe turn it into a pillow. I don't know. These patterns I really like. I don't know if these probably are out of print. I got a couple of these off of Stash Unload and then found the rest on eBay. These are called Veggies by Janet Towers. By Green Apple Inc. So there's 4 of these. They do have different vegetables. And I think I'm probably not going to stitch all of these, but I think it'd be fun to pick, I don't know, 3 or 4 and stitch them together. I have a family member who does a lot of cooking that I would like to make these for at some point. Probably the asparagus, and I love the beets, and maybe the carrots and the leeks too. So these are just kind of fun. I think they'll be really easy to work up. It's interesting. I can't show you because I don't want to have the actual pattern on the video. But the patterns are hand-drawn. So they hopefully won't be too hard to read. But I do think that those are pretty, and I would like to stitch them soon. Okay, next up we have some larger patterns that I have kitted up. I have several Mirabilia. I do not know how to pronounce this. I think it's Mirabilia by Nora Corbett. So this one is Sleeping Princess, kind of a take on The Princess and the Pea maybe, I don't know. I think it's really pretty. I have some Da Vinci linen by Picture This Plus and a whole bunch of floss and beads. So this one I kitted up, I think. My dog is being weird. Chloe, stop bumping my camera. This I kitted up in about 2014, and every year I'm like, I'm going to stitch this year. Who knows when this is going to happen. Another mirror I have that I would like to stitch soon, I did buy, I think from Stash Unload, The Lady of the Flag, and now out of print. And this is such a lovely pattern, and my husband's very patriotic, and I think that he would enjoy this in our home. So I'm hoping to do that one soon. I think I ordered from the Picture This Plus Christmas in July sale some blue fabric, like some sky blue fabric to go with that. And then the third mirror I have, see, you guys know, I don't like the big patterns. You know, that's why this Queen Elizabeth is taking me forever. I don't know what my dog is doing. I have a Beagle Chihuahua mix, so she likes to sniff things out, hiding in and around our couch and then tear it up. So if you ever hear like tearing sounds in the background, it's my dog destroying something. She's nuts. So I do love the looks of these mirror patterns, but I know they're going to take me forever. So I've been putting off starting one. I've actually never stitched one yet, but I'm hoping to do one soon. One of these 3 that I am showing you today. So then the third one I have is Shakespeare's Fairies. Now, I was an English major in college, so of course I'm like, oh, Shakespeare's Fairies. Gotta have that, and I think they're really pretty. So I have the bead kit for that. I got that on eBay. And then I also have this absolutely beautiful French lilac by Picture This Plus to stitch it on. Isn't that so beautiful? I love this fabric. I'm excited to stitch this just to be able to use that pretty purple fabric. So another one that I would like to stitch up soon is Fairy Tale Sampler. I wonder why I like that. Maybe because I like fairy tales. This is by Dragon Dreams. And this is such a fun little pattern. It's just real simple. I bet I could stitch it up in probably less than 2 weeks. And I have some Earthen Lugana from Picture This Plus, as well as just the specialty threads already in my bag here for this. So this one I also got off of Stash Unload. When I first discovered Stash Unload, I went nuts. Like, I had like 3 months there where I was like buying stuff like crazy. And I had to stop because it was getting really out of hand. But I have some really fun patterns I got from there. I don't buy as much on there anymore because I can't afford to keep buying like that. And then the last of the patterns that I have that I've... My dog is nice. Chloe, what are you doing? My dog is crazy. The last of the patterns I have that kitted up, or at least partially kitted, are these Farmer's Market fruits by Samsara Designs. I actually have all of the beads for both these and the vegetable series, but I don't have all the threads for the vegetable series. And I bought this fabric, which I think is big enough for me to use for both. This is Honeysuckle. I think it's a Weeks Dye Works fabric. I bought it on 123 Stitch to stitch this on, but I don't remember who the company is now. It's not on the paper that 123 Stitch gives you. Anyway, these are fun. So there's 6 in this series, and each is a different fruit, and then that's kind of what it's going to look like when it's done. And I think this will be really cute for my kitchen. Each pattern also comes with a bonus pattern to make like a toy version of it, or like a plush. I probably won't do that because that's a lot of work for something I don't think I would really use. But I do like the original pattern of the 6 different fruits and veggies. Or there's one that's 6 fruits, and then another one that's 6 vegetables. And I would eventually like to stitch both of them. But I definitely want to start with the fruits first because it's cuter. And then this one I just tucked in there because I just bought it. I'm really excited about this one, guys. Look what I found on eBay. I'm a huge Teresa Wensler fan. I own almost all of her patterns now after going through a crazy buying binge of trying to find them on eBay. I know you can buy them online as digital patterns, but I really wanted the physical patterns if I could. But this one was eluding me because there's only there were only 1,000 printed, signed, and it was created exclusively for Fantasy Fair 2005. So this came up on eBay and I was able to get it for a pretty good price. So I was really excited about that. It just came last week and I'm really excited. I want to stitch this one soon just because, I don't know, it's just a cute little pattern. I really like dragons. I don't have a lot of dragon patterns other than the Teresa Wenslers, but that's okay. Okay, finally, to finish this off, I have some of my priority stash kits. Kits that are things that came as kits that I didn't already pre-purchase. Oh my gosh, that sentence made no sense. Let's try that again. These are patterns I purchased as kits, not as patterns. Okay, we're good. I tend not to buy a lot of kits because I like to pick my own fabric for them, and I don't always like the floss that comes with like the dimensions patterns necessarily. So sometimes I switch it out, sometimes I keep it. So the first one I want to show you is this is a Disney Parks pattern. I think it's just called the Disney Castle, maybe. It's a Thomas Kincaid picture that was turned into a cross-stitch pattern with some of the other Thomas Kincaid Disneys. But I think this is really pretty. I think this is of Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland, not Disney World. I bought this off of eBay. But it's so pretty, and I think it would be a really fun big project to do one year. And there's a really cute Tinkerbell little button that you add. I don't know if you can see that. It's so cute. So I'd love to do this one. It's just pretty, and it's fun. I also have Aurora by Dimensions, their gold collection. This pattern is really pretty too. I love the fairy tale East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which is about a girl and a polar bear who's secretly a prince. So as soon as I saw this pattern, I think someone was stitching it on one of the forums or on the Facebook groups that I follow, and I was like, I need that pattern in my life. So that's one I would like to do sometime, who knows when. And then I did buy a Teresa Winsler kit that had been opened already, but it has everything in it. Also from eBay. I got a good deal on this one. And this is the Guardian. I love her dragons. They're really interesting dragons because she tends to add like feathers and cool stuff to them, so I like them. They're not for everybody. And then finally, to finish this off, I have 2 stockings. So my sister stitches stockings for her family, or has been working on them for several years. And hi Joanna, I know you're watching this, you little creepy stalker sister, you. Just kidding. So I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, I want to cross stitch some stockings for me and my husband. We don't have any children yet, so I figured I can probably handle 2. So I told him to pick out a stocking that he would like from the Dimensions ones, and he picked out the Nativity stocking, Holy Night stocking is what it's called. And I thought, oh, that's really nice. And then I went looking for one for me, and it was a really hard task trying to find a stocking that matched kind of the tone of this, because a lot of them from Dimensions are cute, but they're like cartoony or stuff like that, and I was like having a really hard time finding kind of a more mature, a little bit more religious one. But I was able to find one. It was out of print, but I was able to find it on eBay, and it's called the Angel of Divinity stocking, and it has a lion and a lamb and a very pretty angel on it. So I was really excited about that, and that's what I'm going to stitch for myself. So we will each have a stocking, and I wanted to get these done this year for Christmas. Ha! Haven't even started. Maybe next year, right? How many times have I said that in this video? So that's my priority stash. I have more stash. But I'm not going to show it all in this video because it's already long enough. But that gives you a little taste of what I have. I would like to show off at some point my fabric stash, maybe in the next video. Or maybe I'll wait till my new Picture This Plus order comes, whenever that may be, hopefully soon. I think last year's order came late September, early October. So hopefully that's when this year's will come as well. So thank you all for watching. Sorry about all the little bumps as my dog was being crazy and my sentence structure was failing. Again, thank you all for your support. It really does mean a lot to me to know that people care about my patterns. I like to be creative, and it's just really exciting that there's other people excited about what I do as well. So thank you all for your support, and I will be updating you soon with news about my next project. Till then, happy stitching.